The world is once again standing under the shadow of a great power war. The smoke rising from Western soil is not merely an indication of a regional dispute. Rather, diplomats fear it could be the prelude to a major war capable of changing the global order itself. Even as American warships move into the Persian Gulf and Iran warns that the repercussions would be terrible, world powers are watching closely to see how this will affect countries including India. This region is currently going through one of the most critical phases in recent history. Beyond mere verbal confrontation, modern arsenals and aircraft carrier fleets being deployed in the theater of war intensify the seriousness of the situation. America's moves are arranged in a way that is suffocating Iran. The USS Abraham Lincoln Strike Group, one of the most powerful warship groups in the world, was redirected from the Indo-Pacific to West Asia, which is the main focus of the current provocation. The carrier group includes nuclear-powered submarines and the world's most advanced F-35 stealth fighter jets. Iran considers the approach of this fleet toward the Persian Gulf a major threat. Moreover, the presence of Arleigh Burke-class destroyers equipped with Tomahawk cruise missiles suggests that attacks could be launched at any moment from the sea. Iran's response has been extremely severe. Iran's foreign affairs official, Esmail Baghai, made it clear that if they are attacked, it would lead to an extreme retaliation and a regrettable end. Iran claims that past war experiences have strengthened them and that they are militarily stronger than before. But Iran's confidence is not only in military power. The strategically important geography of the region and Iran's control over the Strait of Hormuz are its main weapons. The United States knows very well that if Iran decides to block this route, through which a large part of the world's oil supply passes, it would severely damage the global economic system. American President Donald Trump's stance has added a new dimension to this conflict. His statement that he has sent a strong military force and that the world should watch what happens has sparked major international debate. However, he has also opened a door for peace. The White House has indicated that if Iran stops punishing internal protesters, the U.S. would be willing to step back from military action. But the internal unrest in Iran and the government's brutal suppression complicate these diplomatic discussions. Reports that the government has killed a large number of protesters and that the death toll has exceeded tens of thousands have shocked the international community. Human rights groups also report that the government cut off internet access to prevent news from reaching the outside world. The United States is using this military move to intensify the international pressure against Iran. But Iran declares that this is an invasion of its sovereignty and that it will not allow anyone to interfere in its internal affairs, which complicates the discussions. Many fear that if a full-scale war occurs in this region, it could be the beginning of a third world war. This is because a war between Iran and the United States would not be limited to just two countries. If countries such as Israel and Saudi Arabia stand with the US, the critical question is what stance Russia and China would take. It would cause oil prices to surge globally and increase the prices of daily necessities. For countries dependent on imports like India, this would be a major economic blow. Also, the safety of Gulf countries where hundreds of thousands of Indians work would be called into question. There are many dangers when a problem that should be solved through diplomacy is approached with military force. The main question now is whether Trump's aggressive strategies will bring Iran to the negotiation table or provoke them further into war. As Iran's foreign minister, Said Abbas Araghchi, warned, if they are attacked, the US and its allies will have to pay the price. While no one benefits from war, the international community must work to reduce the conflict through peaceful dialogue. In this situation, where even a small mistake can lead to a huge disaster, the world is watching with extreme caution. If war is to be avoided, both sides must make concessions. Iran must reduce its nuclear ambitions and human rights violations. At the same time, the US should be willing to lift economic sanctions and reintegrate Iran into the global market. If this balance is not found, Western soil will once again be soaked in blood. Once modern warplanes and missiles start speaking, words will no longer be meaningful there. We can only hope that world leaders will wake up and act before the last grain of peace dries up.